Welcome. Welcome to Living the Dream series. This is the last video in the series. So this is week eight. I'm Rachel. I'm from Creative Pathways Coaching and welcome today. So today we're going to talk about self-care and monitoring your results. Last week we spoke about visualization and how important visualization is in regards to going for your goals. You need to be able to visualize it very, very clear, or your mind is not going to be able to normalize it and make it a reality. So today, self-care and monitoring results. And as usual, at the end of the video, I'll actually teach you a exercise that will be really good, is really good for monitoring your results. It's a great way to focus on your goal and actually make and attain it actually sooner than you would think possible. So we're looking at self-care today. So when you're going towards your goals, when you're working towards any sort of goal or dream, you need to make sure you are at your peak performance. So a bit like an athlete, actually. So you've really got to be incredibly resilient, and your capacity has to be at its most highest for you to continuously move towards your goals, particularly when a goal is going to take quite a while, but generally anyway. Your long-term resilience and capacity is dependent on how you take care of yourself and your self-care. So if we look at, for example, if you think about self-care, most people think about diet, exercise. So we're thinking about health. We're thinking about sleeping properly, that sort of stuff. And that's definitely part of it. And you need to make sure that's actually happening. And that can mean even regularly going to your doctor just to check up and make sure you're all okay with regards to that. But as well, there's also your emotional well-being. And this is a big one here. And I've touched on it actually a couple of times in the previous videos, and I'm going to touch on it again. And this is about putting yourself first to some extent. So this is about saying no. Saying no to responsibilities that aren't actually your responsibility. And this can be, for example, when people are asking you to do something and you really don't have the time, but you feel that you should for whatever reason. So this is about learning to say no. You're going to have enough on your plate. You need to learn to set boundaries there with regards to what you're actually physically and both emotionally capable of doing. The second one is also stepping away or walking away from people who will pull you into dramas, so distracting you from your goal and where you're in your focus and where you're meant to be, concentrating your focus on. So this can be, and again, this comes back to your boundaries and setting your boundaries very clear. So this is really important, your emotional well-being, and making sure that you practice self-care with regards to your emotional well-being. So this really is on an emphasis on prioritizing yourself. And this is putting yourself putting yourself as one of the highest priorities in your life. And when I say this, I'm sure there are a couple of you out there who are parents. And look, I'm a parent myself. And really, it's important that you put yourself as high as your kids with regards to the highest priorities in your life. Now, the parents, of course, will say, well, my children have to come before me. And look, this in our society, this is the way it's been set up. But I want you to look at two steps here with regards to why that isn't always the case and why you need to make sure you are actually putting yourself as one of the highest priorities. The first one is that if you don't and you are working towards your goal, you're not going to have the energy or the enthusiasm or the presence to be with your children as much as you could be. If you're putting yourself lower and you're putting your self-care and your needs lower, you are not taking care of yourself and you're not going to be present enough for them. And children pick that up. So it's important for your relationship with your children to make sure that you put yourself as one of the highest priorities as well as them. The second one is about role modeling. As a parent, you are one of your children's main role models. And as a result, if you are not practicing self-care and putting yourself as a high priority, you're actually teaching your children to not do that in their lives when they get older, both now and in the future. So it's actually important. It's important we know that for other people to see that they take care of themselves. And I'm sure that you would want your children to. So the best way children learn is actually through their parents' behavior, not through what they say. So make sure that you provide a really good role model with regards to self-care. So self-care and self-value are incredibly important. So now we get on to monitoring results. Now, I touched on monitoring results last week a little bit, and this is really about motivation, particularly so around, we'll have large successes that will happen as you're striving towards your dreams. You will have large successes, but also as well, you'll have small successes. Human beings have a little tendency to remember more large successes than small and pay attention to more large successes. So if we are dependent on our memory to remember stuff and to remember, we will remember the large successes but not the small. And when we're looking at making sure to keep our motivation up, we need to pay attention to the small successes. Now, one way we can help with monitoring results is through a journal. So some of the stuff I've actually taught you over the weeks is a great way to look back on. I've had clients and other people who do journaling as well, who actually have up to 5 or more journals, and they're able to look back. They're able to see their progress from the benchmark where they first started. Say a number of years ago, 5, 6 years ago, what have you. They're able to see the progress and how much they've actually, succeeded in their life in the last number of years. Now, of course, if they hadn't had journals, they'd still be able to remember it, but it wouldn't be as detailed. And sometimes when we are a little bit low on motivation or low on confidence, or we just need a bit of a push, that's really a good way to do that, is to go back on some of the stuff, on some of the results you've actually already achieved. And to do that, journaling is a great way. Now, there are other ways, and today I'm actually going to teach you a really good exercise to help monitor your results. This is called the results calendar, funnily enough. Okay, so this can be used, it's actually a very flexible system. It can be used, say, for example, to increase something. Like if you are trying to save money, it can be used really well for focusing your attention on creating more money. It also can be, flipped the other way, can be a really good system to use in regards to losing something. So for example, I think I used an example in the last video, which was losing weight. So it can be either one. So we start off with this exercise. It's really good to get yourself a whiteboard, not too large, probably only about that big by about that big. But it's really what I want you to do is to put in a calendar. Say, for example, the first of the month starts on a Monday. So you take that whole week along. And you have boxes, so for Monday the 1st, Monday the 2nd, Monday the 3rd, so you have columns coming down. Then at the end, you have 2 totals columns. So make sure 2 totals columns, you do need to have that. That's really important. So you have the first Monday, the 2nd Tuesday, the 3rd Wednesday, I'm just giving you an example here, and it goes along. So you have a number, so you have 4 weeks, and as it goes along that way. So then I want you to do is in the first week, right at the end, in the right-hand total, is put down, so for example, let's use money. I was going to say, I thought I said that, but anyway, I'll say it again. Say we use to increase money. I want you at the end of that week to think about what you're expecting to make in that whole week. And I want you to write that total down. Take, for example, most people actually get paid once a month, once a week, or once a fortnight. So make sure that you have that expected wages that come in, or any of those things, including around about what you're expecting to make. So you put that in the right-handed totals. Then each week, you monitor each day you monitor how much money you've made. And then at the end, you add that up and you put it in the left-hand totals column. And then you can see the difference between what you actually made that week and what you expected to make, and see the difference there. And then, of course, you do it the next week. Making sure when you get to at the end of every month that you take a photo of it, whether it's through your camera or your phone, what have you, but take a photo of it, because you want to have some record of it. You can keep it on your phone, but make sure that you actually you store it somewhere so that it's easily accessible and you can actually look back. So this is a great way for money, and as I said, it can be used on the flip side in regards to actually losing weight. So you put at the end of the week, so start of the week, the expected amount that you want to lose. So for example, say you're 68 kilos and you think that you can in that week lose 2 kilos. You put down 66 kilos. Now with each day, you put down how many kilos you are each day, and then at the end, in the left-hand totals, you put down how much you actually are. Then you look at the difference between how much you actually are in kilos or in pounds if you're somewhere else, not Australia, and then you look at the difference between the expected weight loss and the actual weight loss, and then you go again the next week. So as I said before, it's a flexible system and it can be used for any of that sort of stuff. And look, you can take it, be creative with it. You can use it for a lot of other things as well. Those were only 2 examples. So we are now at the end of this video series. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've watched all the videos, and I hope that this was really helpful for you. The next series of videos will have more of a relationship focused. So, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and you'll be able to catch that. Also, as well, if you like this video, please like, share, or subscribe. The subscribe button is down below. Also, as well, I offer sessions on my website at www.creativepathwayscoaching.com. I also offer a free 30-minute consultation for new clients. Also in that website, I also offer meditation scripts. They're $25 each. So I will see you in the next series. So make sure you subscribe so that you can catch the new series coming up probably in the next couple of weeks. And I wish you all the best going towards your goals and increasing your self-growth and personal power. See you next time. Cheers.